Getting to 12% body fat sounds really hard, but it's actually very simple when you know exactly what to do step by step. I've done it myself, now I coach others to do it, and in this video I'm going to give you my simple 5-step process to get you to 12% body fat. This isn't some magic fix, but if you're ready to follow these steps and stay consistent, you will finally achieve your dream body. Step 1 is something you can literally start today, and it's walking, specifically 10 to 15,000 steps per day. Most people still massively underestimate the power of walking because it isn't flashy and it isn't intense, but that's why it's so good, because you could do it every single day. Walking is literally your best friend when you're trying to lose fat for multiple reasons. Firstly, it burns calories at a really good rate. For most people, you're looking at 30 to 50 calories per 1,000 steps, and it doesn't spike your hunger or cravings like other hard forms of cardio do. It also doesn't require recovery. It's low impact and really easy on the joints, so you can do it every day without much issue. It also reduces your stress levels, which lowers cortisol, which is a hormone that directly signals to your body to store fat around your midsection, specifically in the love handles and the belly. So by lowering this, you're lessening the chance of having that big belly. Once you get to 10 to 15k steps, depending on your body weight and your body composition, you're going to be burning anywhere from 300 to 750 calories a day without even feeling like you're doing cardio. This should be your absolute first fix if you want to start losing fat, or if your fat loss has stalled. Before you start cutting calories drastically, walk more. Nail this first and everything becomes so much easier. Step 2 is nailing your nutrition, specifically a calorie deficit and a high protein intake. As you know, you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat. No matter what morons online tell you, you have to be burning more calories than you consume in order to lose fat. But where most people go wrong is they massively cut their calories, which can wreak havoc on your metabolism, meaning it becomes harder and harder for you to lose fat over time. You need to start by estimating your maintenance calories, and I've linked a calculator down below for you to use. I'll use myself as an example here. Back when I was 248 pounds, I worked out that my maintenance calories was around 3,100 calories. So I decided to stick to a moderate 500 calorie daily deficit, which would allow me to lose 1 pound of body fat per week. So how many calories did I eat? 2,600. What you must remember though is, yes, that calorie deficit is the most important part of this, but you also need to keep your protein intake high for 3 main reasons. Firstly, protein is very satiating, which means it keeps you fuller for longer and makes it way easier for you to stick to your calorie deficit. The higher your protein intake, the less likely you're going to be raiding the fridge and raiding the cupboards at midnight for snacks. Also, when you eat a high protein intake, you're going to maintain or even build muscle mass whilst in a deficit. So by the end of your cut, you're not going to end up looking skinny fat, you're going to look lean and muscular. That also plays into the third reason. The more muscle mass your body has, the more calories your body burns at both a resting and an active state. So of course it's an advantage to have more muscle mass. You look better and you burn fat more efficiently. You should aim to get 80% of your protein intake from whole food sources like chicken breast, white fish like cod, fatty fish like salmon, minced beef, steak, eggs, egg whites, and Greek yogurt. Also, make sure you utilize whey protein. It's the highest bioavailable form of protein you can get anywhere, and it's also super easy to fill in those gaps when you're busy or on the go. The bottom line is, this step is very simple, but you have to get it right if you want to see results. Without a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose fat. And without high protein intake, you're going to end up skinny fat. Step 3 is get your ass in the gym and goddamn train. If you do not weight train while you're in a calorie deficit, guess what? You're going to end up skinny fat again. And I'm assuming you want to build a lean, muscular physique, not a soft one. Remember how I just said when you're in a calorie deficit but your protein intake isn't high enough, your body is going to use both muscle and fat cells for fuel. Well, the same can be said for if you're not weight training. When you weight train, it sends a signal to your body which says, hold on a second, this muscle is being used, which must mean it's important, so don't let go of it. Let's use the fat for fuel to make up for the energy deficit. And remember, the more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns, because muscle is a metabolically active tissue. So it's an absolute must to have as much muscle mass as you possibly can naturally, so that you can stay lean and healthy for the rest of your life. I would recommend that most people do either a 3 or a 4-day split. If you're a beginner in the gym, i.e. you've been going to the gym for less than 2 years, or maybe you've been going longer but you haven't been training properly, a 3-day split is more than enough, because you're only going to need to hit each muscle group 1 time a week, and that's enough volume for you to grow. But if you've been training for more than 2 years, I'd recommend a 4-day split of upper lower, purely because you're going to need that extra volume and to hit each muscle group twice per week so that you can see maximum results. Again, if you're doing the 3-day split, I recommend push-pull legs. But whatever split you do, it's so important that you actually push yourself and try in the gym. Don't half-ass it, progressively overload, use controlled form, and do the weights and exercises properly, and you're going to see results consistently. If you do this right, not only will you lose fat and build muscle, but people are going to notice you more, you're going to have better stature, you're going to walk with more confidence, you're going to feel and look better. There is no downside to building muscle. Next up, step 4, which is optional, but I highly recommend it if you want to see results faster, and it's intermittent fasting. Now listen, if you've watched my content before, you know 1, I call out BS, and 2, I never advocate for gimmicks. And believe me, I'm not here saying that intermittent fasting is somehow going to flip some switch and your body's going to naturally burn way more fat. That's not the case. It just makes it way easier to stay within your deficit, and it makes diets more sustainable. The biggest benefit that comes from it is structure. Most people go throughout the whole day, sunrise to sunset, grazing and snacking, but intermittent fasting, or restricted eating window as it's also called, prevents this. Personally, when I'm in a cutting phase, I use a 16-8 window, where I fast for 16 hours a day and then I consume all of my calories within an 8-hour window. But you could also do the 12 and 12 method, where you have a 12-hour eating window, or you could do the 14-10 method, where you have a 10-hour eating window. It's best to find the eating window that fits best within your lifestyle and helps you stick to your calorie deficit, but you should only ever even think about this step once you've nailed the first 3 steps. Again, the key is consistency and finding the window that works for you. Don't commit to a 16-8 eating window if it's going to turn you into some annoying, hangry little gremlin. Just find the one that works for you. When it's done right, and it's done in combination with the first 3 steps, intermittent fasting can take your fat loss journey to the next level, so definitely consider it. Finally, step 5, and this is what most people overlook, but I can't tell you how important this actually is, and it's sleeping properly. Trust me, you could be doing absolutely everything else right, but if you're only sleeping for 5 or 6 hours a night, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your hormones play a massive role in how much fat your body stores and where it stores it. Cortisol is something you've probably heard of, and it's called the stress hormone for a reason, because it directly encourages your body to store fat around your belly and love handles, and when you aren't sleeping well, it spikes. You also have ghrelin and leptin to worry about, which when those levels are off, you're going to feel hungry and have cravings all the time, and it's going to lead you to eating shitty food. A lack of sleep also tanks your recovery and decreases your metabolism over long periods of time. So the long and short of it is, shitty sleep is going to make you look and feel shitty. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. People need different amounts depending on you as an individual, but 7 hours is the absolute minimum. Do this by setting a consistent bedtime. We have internal body clocks, and the more consistent your bedtime and wake times are, the better sleep quality you're going to have. Cut caffeine out 8 hours before you go to bed. Trust me, even if you're sat there thinking it doesn't affect you, it is affecting the quality of your sleep. Also, put your phone down and turn screens off an hour before bed. Blue light affects your body's ability to produce melatonin, which helps you wind down and sleep. Read a book or listen to an audiobook instead. And treat your bedroom like a bedroom. There's 2 things your bed and your bedroom should be used for, which is sleep and sex. Nothing else, not scrolling on your phone. Believe me, sleep is way more important than you think it is when it comes to fat loss, so please make sure you're getting enough. Focus on recovery like you focus on other aspects of fat loss, because it's just as important. So there you have it. If you follow those 5 steps, I literally guarantee you that you will get to 12% body fat. If you want my expertise on that journey though, book a call down below and we'll have a chat, and we'll put a plan and a strategy in place for you as an individual, and we will work together on a one-on-one basis to get you to your dream body, and more importantly, stay there for life. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like, share it with a friend, preferably an overweight one, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.